Okay, PPT is visible, right? Menon sir,
Ah,
you can see the PPT?
yeah.
Okay.
Gopinath and Usha, you can see the PPT?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah. Mute karo, please. Gopinath, mute. Usha, mute.
So I think last time we have covered 3.6 and 3.7, Introduction to Psychology, Concepts of Human Psyche, Stages, Cognitive Process, Meaning and Nature. Second class, we did the definition and nature of behavior, kinds of behavior, motivation. Now we will go into 3.8, Emotions. Okay, let us start today on emotions. Fundamentally, we look at the definition, nature, and the physiological changes during emotion. So let us understand that there are many definitions. Let us understand some basic definition. Emotion is an effective experience that accompanies generalized inner adjustments and mental and physiological stirred up states in the individual, and that shows itself in the overt behavior. So there is the overt and the covert behavior. So anything which comes as an experience, immediately the body has to go in for some kind of adjustment, whether it is, you know, expressing it or anything. So that is what emotions are. So emotions are generally a subjective feeling, and the experience of emotion varies from person to person. The same emotion, for example, somebody sees somebody, begging for alms. Somebody may feel that yes, poor person does not have anything. Others may feel no, these are all things which people are acting. So the same emotions can trigger different feelings. In psychology, attempts have been made to identify basic emotions. It has been noted there are at least 6 emotions which are experienced and recognized everywhere, because emotions can be plenty. So when it comes to the study of psychology, they are looked at 6 major things, which are, we all know that anger, disgust, fear, happiness, sadness, and surprise. So once again, anger in alphabetical order: anger, disgust A1, disgust D1, F fear 1, H happiness 1, sadness and surprise. It's easy to remember when you go alphabetically. Lazard had proposed a set of 10 basic emotions other than the 6, that is joy. It is again a extreme happiness is joy, surprise, anger again is come, disgust and contempt, fear, shame, guilt, interest, excitement, with the combination of them resulting in other emotions. So there are 6 basic emotions, and further psychologists have added 10 more. Emotions vary in their intensity, high and low, and quality, happiness, sadness, fear. Subjective factors and situational context influence the experience of emotions. Very, very important. You know, it depends upon even a fear. Somebody can have a fear for a situation. Somebody feels that no, it is not something where I am scared of. We all know the story in mythology, where I think I'll come back to that. These factors are gender, personality, and psychopathology of certain kinds. These factors are carefully listened: gender, personality, and psychopathology of certain kinds. Evidence indicates that women experience all the emotions except anger more intensely than men. Okay, it's debatable. Men are prone to experience high intensity and frequency of anger. This gender difference has been attributed to the social roles attached to men, where earlier days men have to go to work and competitiveness, and woman is more of love and care at home, where the earlier days the woman was not working. So this is a historical way of looking at it. What happens in emotions? What happens at the effect? A broad range of feelings that people experience. The first level. After that, what happens? Intense feeling that are directed towards someone or something. The third one, based on that emotion, either you can feel to be feelings that tend to be less intense than emotions and lack of contextual stimulus. So it starts as an effect, it shows some feelings and the effect of it. What is the definition of emotion once again? Emotion is a stirred up state caused by physiological changes occurring as a response to some event. So here the mind body connection also happens. It happens at a physiological level to some event and which tends to maintain or abolish the causative event. The emotions can be due to one reason, but then many a time the cause is not known, but emotions stand. Mood is a pervasive and sustained emotion that occurs the person's perception of the world. For example, we'll say, oh, the person is very moody. Maybe there is one emotion which is lingering for a longer time. And the effect is what? Meaning short-lived emotion is defined as the patient's present emotional responsiveness. So any emotion which comes, if it comes, it shows certain state. If it continues for a sustained emotion, then it is a mood, and then it affects. These are all, something like our Navarasa. When it is happy, when it is sad, when it is fear, many a thing, many a time it can be noticed. Anger, surprise, disguise. This is typically our Navarasa. All nine kind of emotions. The nine emotions included in our Navarasa are Sringara, love, Asya, sorry, laughter, Karuna, kind-heartedness, Raudra, anger, Veera, courage, Bhayankar, terror, Bibhatsya, or disgust, Adbhuta, surprise, and Shanta, peace or tranquility. Sringara, it's love. This is the ultimate rasa, the crown emotion that heals anything. This rasa frees the ego and connects us to the devotional love. When we appreciate beauty, it connects us to the source of love. It is the creative love between Shiva and Shakti, sun and moon. This I have actually added. It may not be part of the syllabus. The purpose of the universe is to experience this divine love. The love is inherent in everything. It is within each and every one of us and radiates through the cosmos. There is a lot of study on yoga between these two rasas. Let us understand some of the major theories. One major theory is James Lang theory of emotion. This theory suggests that environmental stimuli elicit physiological response from viscera, the internal organs like the heart and the lungs, which in turn are associated with muscle movement. For example, startling, start, startling at an unexpected intense noise triggers activation in visceral and muscular organs, followed by an emotional arousal. Put in other words, James Lang theory argues that your perception about your bodily changes, like rapid breathing, a pounding heart, and running legs following an event, brings forth emotional arousal. The main implication made by theory is that particular events or stimuli provoke particular physiological changes, and the individual's perception of these changes result in the emotion being experienced. For example, a road accident happens, increased heart rate, per- perspiration, sweating, then fear. The stimulus is specific physiological changes, perception of physiological changes, and emotions are experienced. What psychologists say about emotions? Many psychologists today believe that our cognition, ability to understand, our perception, memory, interpretations are essential ingredients of emotions. So that means all those things, how do we see things? How do we memorize? How do we interpret? What is the role of language? Where, when you study Patanjali Yoga Sutra, uh, 2.34, I suppose, talks about Pratipaksha Bhavanam. Okay, how do you interpret Stanley Schetzer and Jerome Singer have proposed a two-factor theory in which emotions have two ingredients, physical arousal and a cognitive label. They presume that our experience of emotion grows from our awareness of our present arousal. Cultural learning influences the expression. For example, based on the culture, people learn to express certain culture. You find people are very tough. People are able to have that kind of endurance and the grit. Cultural learning influences the expression of emotions more than what is experienced. For example, some culture encourages free emotional expression, whereas other cultures teach people through modeling and reinforcement to reveal little of their emotions in public. I'm sure you all will be knowing defense mechanism, rationalization, projection. There are five major defense mechanism. People generally use that defense mechanism. Even if they have fear, it will show as something else. Learning has a great deal to do with the now it is clear, right?
Yeah.
Physical effect of emotions are sympathetic nerve, which is actually like what I said, anulom vilom. When you breathe in, it is sympathetic nerve which gets activated. When you breathe out, you feel good. That is the time when parasympathetic nerve. That is why we are told to breathe out more than what you breathe in. 1:2, 1:2 is to 4. 2 is holding. So the amygdala, a small area in the limbic system, gets the signal. Fear comes, anger comes, sadness comes. The brain has a lot to do. For example, if you want to learn, if you want to do something for your cerebellum, you have to just stand and do balancing asana. Just take one leg towards your chest and keep both the hands in the side and try to balance on one leg. Straight away, your cerebellum is active because cerebellum controls your brain. I am teaching few people who are very senior citizens abroad. So I tell them just keep your, just tell them to take both the hands. Take one leg. If you want, you can take the support of the wall. Take the leg, fold it up and try to bring it near the chest. Straight away, your cerebellum is getting activated. So small things like that. And I tell them do it as much without falling, but take support. Fear, anger, sadness, change in the facial expression. We all know that. Increase or decrease in temperature, etc. Hypothalamus gets very active. Hypothalamus is a seat of memory. They say any kind of cancer which happens at the hypothalamus, then there is no way, because if there is any surgery done, immediately the person becomes a vegetable. So hypothalamus cancer happens, people lose the balance. Pituitary, as we know, it's a growth hormone. All of them experience. So it's so important that you have to have the right emotions. Okay. Now we will talk about the next session, and we will run through, revise both the sessions together. Mental health, yogic view of mental health and mental illness. Now, for exam purpose, Menon sir had requested we have another PPT. Okay, very short version. We will be sharing that as soon as our class gets over. That maybe, half an hour, you will know the whole thing. Mental health, yogic view of mental health and mental illness, role of yoga in mental health, importance of psycho social environment for health and wellness. So, yogic science of the mind is what? Chitta Bhumi, states of the mind. Muda means dull, inert state. Shipta, totally distracted. Vikshipta, partially distracted. Ekagrata, one-pointed state. Niruddha, control state. So, it's the other way. Okay. So, everybody, for example, when you start teaching, you will find most of the people may have a lot of tamasic element. If you go into the sattva, raja, guna. So, many practices are actually to move them from the tamasic this. That is why a lot of sandhi challenge, so that they are active from head to toe. And then over a period of time, when the practice starts, some sitting asanas, some standing asanas, you will find after tamasic, the rajasic state going very up, very, very high. Okay, there are people like Dr. Heller, who has done study only based on this, uh, the, Vat, Pit, Kaph and the Sattva. The moment you start teaching them some yoga, then you will find that rajasic element is gone. Even everybody will see that they want to, from tamas, the movement is already started to rajasic. You will find everybody wants to do balancing us, and even if you are not telling something to do, they'll start doing it. So that, as a good teacher, you can watch that it is the tamasic element moving and rajasic element coming up. So they will be interested more in balancing asanas. If it is a group class and all, you will find them trying to look at what other people are doing and doing. So it is because the rajasic element is going. In rajasic, there are certain practices. Okay, those practices you have to do to bring rajasic level to a very, very controlled rajasic level before you think about. Otherwise, what happens is that even if you start rajasic level and then try to put them in pranayam, you will find them there is no real benefit. Okay, in pranayam itself, you will find the breathing going very, very shallow, very, very loud. So from there, certain practices are very, very carefully taught to take the rajasic level to a level slowly, and then move into the sattvic level where other practices come, where you do higher levels of practice. Now, in normal classes, after that level, sattva level, we don't try to teach to a level where you talk about being gunatit, that there is no guna. You are going beyond your guna. That kind of practices normally in day-to-day life we don't teach. So in yoga, very clearly it is written at each stage what happens. Now, what are the causes of mental illness? Very important, very, very important. Okay. Now, how this happens? We have to look at it from a different level. Fear, we all know abhinivesha, right? Ignorance, avidya. Now, avidya means what? Ignorance of what? It is nothing that ignorance of our true self. Okay. We have the godliness in us. We are aham brahmasmi. We have everything, but we are forgetting our own true self, and then we are behind the material world. Very, very large extent. It seems when Shankaracharya was caught by the crocodile, it was the crocodile was trying to signify the material world. The moment he said, I will take up sannyasa, the crocodile went out. Okay. So we are more into that abhinivesha is because we are trying to have material position. So avidya is nothing but not knowing our true self. Just like the uh, many of the even the Persian person Rumi has written a line. We are not a drop in the ocean. We are an ocean in a drop form. We are so vast. Our self is so high, so much supreme that we forget ourselves and we attach to the body consciousness very much. As a result, we have ego. And as a result, we will have the likes and dislikes. Now, every like, for example, I'll give you an example. Our son or daughter, we like our child so much, okay, and we shower all our attention. Now, one particular day, the child is not coming in time. So, the all that affection has now turned into fear. The same affection has now turned into fear. We are waiting for the child to come, and finally, when the child comes, the fear now becomes anger, right? The fear becomes anger. So, the same emotion which was love moved into fear, fear moved into anger. Examine. Okay, so these are all things which connect us, and then we totally go wrong. And then we are so much attached to that that attached that we are now feeling that how do we give up that attachment. Okay, so all of this at one day we have to move out with all those things, then only the real realization comes. So the yogic perspective of mental health is yoga is first and foremost a moksha shastra, okay, meant to attain the final freedom, liberation, or emancipation. For a large extent, it is a art of living. Beyond that, it is an art of living. One of the most important byproducts of the yogic way of living is attainment of health and well-being. This is brought about by the right use of body, emotions, and mind with awareness and consciousness. This must be understood to be as healthy as a dynamic state that may be attained in spite of the individual's sabija karma that manifest as their genetic predisposition and the environment into which they are born. So we all know that our good body, good mind, everything is required. But beyond that level, we need to know how to start moving out of this. So what are the ways through which yoga tells Abhyasa and Vairagya, right? Now, Abhyasa and Vairagya. This Vairagya, my experience, okay, is Abhyasa can only lead you to Vairagya, continuous Abhyasa. For example, if you tell people that you have to leave this, many people would have even felt that yoga means what? We have to wear orange robes and we have to give up everything. Continuous practice. Abhyasa is nothing but practice, practice, practice. Then your body will know what to take, your mind will know what to accept and what not to accept. Vairagya is a result of that. Kriya Yoga, we all know that Tapas Swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhan. Swadhyaya is nothing but reflection about our own self. We say self study. It is not studying on our own, it is a study of the self. Okay. Pranava Java, Chitta Prasadanam, Pratipaksha Bhavanam, Pranayam, Ekatattva Abhyas. These are all ways in which yoga gives you to have a very good psyche. Yoga also helps and maintains and sustains this dynamic positive state of health after it has been attained through disciplined self effort. If you look at some of the schools are teaching pranayam first. Okay, I do not know. They may have their own justification. Since I do not know, I do not want to say. But more or less, I have found that Yamanayama Asana Pranayam. That sequence is better because what happens is that Yama, following all the rules and regulations, following all the social norms, getting into asana so that there is a body mind coordination, and then move into pranayama. The central theme of yoga is the golden mean, finding the middle path, a constant search for moderation and harmonious homeostatic balance. Yoga is the unit, unitive impulse of life, which makes us seek to unite diverse streams into a single powerful force. Proper practice produce an inner balance of mind that remains stable and serene even in the midst of the chaos. The ancient science shows its adherents a clearer path to the eye of the storm and ensures stability that endures within even as the cyclone rages. What is yogic perspective of depression? According to the Yoga Darshan, depression or rather Daurmanisya is one of the four Vikshepa Sahabhuva. that are the manifestation that accompany the obstacles to yoga sadhana, the Nava Antarayas. All of you know that, no? Antarayas. Very important. The other Sahabhuvas are dukkha or suffering, angame vajayadattam, that tremors, body starts shivering when you are not able to hold the position, and shwasa prashwasa or irregular respiration. So practice, practice, practice. That is all the solution. When we analyze the sutra deeply, we find that they are true reflections of our inner state. Dukkha or painful suffering at the physical, emotional, and mental level can drive us to despair. Suffering is an excellent trick our mind plays, as very few can overcome the moment of suffering. Very few people are capable of realizing what is really happening in the process of their evolutionary journey. The moment suffering is felt, most people give up and the lower mind survive to fight another day. Daurmanesya refers to dejection and despair. We must remember that depression is not just in the mind but has many physical aspects too. A state of depression is another tool by which the lower mind tries to alter the spiritual process of a sadhaka. However, we must realize that the greatest teachings are often given at the moment of great despair. We all know that what has happened to Buddha, what has happened to Lord Rama, right? In Yoga Vashishta, we know that the art and science of yoga understands that this may be the best teachable moment, and hence we find the highest teachings of the Bhagavad Gita and Ramayana coming at this point. We all know that Arjuna ka dilemma. What is the mechanism of yoga? All aspects of human physiological functioning is improved through yoga. See that human psychophysiology, that is body mind, we say. When the breath is steady, emotions become more balanced. When body is stilled, the mind starts to calm down. All of you know that, no? Breath is the physical part of the mind. If you want to know the mind, look at the breath. Then you will know what is the physical part of the breath. The physical part of the mind is breath. When the breath is steady, emotions become more balanced. When the body is stilled, the mind starts to calm down. Conscious focus on the present moment, the now. What happens in the present? If you are in the present, what happens?
You will
Ushaji?
not think about past or future. But
Okay.
you will be in that moment only if you are concentrating the
Okay.
now.
You know what? Present is the only time when there is no ego. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir.
When you think about something, no, I did that. When you think about something in future, present is the only time when there is no ego. It's a secret. I have given you the secret. You will not hear this everywhere. Gopinathan ji, agree?
Right. Yeah.
Present, we have to examine our life and see. Present is the only time when we don't have ego. Okay. So that is why they say, be in the present, be in the present. You will not try to attach yourself to everything. Conscious focus on the present moment, the now. They say present is a gift. Integration breath patterns with coordinated the smooth body movements. You all know who's Swami Gitanandagiri? You all know Bhavanani? Today, maybe he's one of the top yogic guru in the world, academic as well as he is in Pondicherry. Okay, Dr. Bhavanani. Dr. Bhavanani. This is Dr. Bhavanani's father. His resume is around 52 pages.
Please read
Okay,
PDF. Please
yeah,
read PDF. PDFs are available free of cost.
correct. And
Increase
not
your
all,
increase your inputs in the yogic therapy aspect.
and for him, yoga chikitsa, he has done a lot of work,
Lot of
and
research. Very interesting
lot-
study.
yes, and very very vocal, very interesting man. No ego, nothing. Very very interesting man. So he is the son of Swami Gitananda Giri. one of the foremost exponents of the yoga in the 20th century, the inherent message of pranayam can be summarized as follows. There is an absolute and direct correlation between the way an organism breathes and its energy levels. There is an absolute and direct correlation between the way a man breathes and the length of his lifespan. Are our lungs, both the lungs, same size? Ushaji, Gopinathanji? How many lungs we have?
Two.
Two. Two lungs. Okay. Are both the lungs same size?
No.
Yeah. Right lung is bigger
Right
than
is
the left
bigger
lung.
than left lung.
And almost 1000 grams, 350 million alveoli
In each
average.
lungs, no?
Yeah. Then, yeah, almost 1000 grams, almost a kilo. And all the lobes, they say, diaphragm, intercostal and all are, actually for purpose, they're all single lobes. Okay. Lower part is known as diaphragm. Middle part is known as intercostal and upper part is known as clavicle. So in order for us to use the total, we say diaphragmatic breathing. Okay, because we are not using the breath fully, so that bottom part of the diaphragm is not utilized. Otherwise, it is a single structure, you can say. So there is an absolute and direct correlation between the way a man breathes and the length of his lifespan. We know all that tortoise versus other animals we have
I'll
seen.
correlate with the therapy, ended.
Ha,
When the abdominal breathing takes place in Kapalbhati, the
ha,
chest expands. The chest expands, then the intercostal ribs expand. Okay, the maximum intake of the oxygen takes place. Okay,
correct,
and active exhalation, you are able to see the exhalation in Kapalbhati, whereas inhalation is passive.
correct,
Law
correct,
of respiration states inhalation and exhalations are there. Okay, but when you close the eyes and in Kapalbhati, you are able to visualize the exhalation. Whereas
correct,
exactly opposite in Bhastrika, you are able to see both active
cor-
exhalation and active inhalation and active exhalation. See,
true,
understand the difference when you teach to the students. Students should know the difference. Okay. And
correct,
how Bhastrika helpful and Bhastrika generates the heat in the body. That should be explained vis-a-vis in Kapalbhati.
correct.
Yeah. And,
Bastrika is a very advanced practice. Okay. There are, yeah, you need to be careful while teaching.
and for your information, it is not there in YCB level 3. Bhastrika practical is not there.
Yeah.
No,
Bastrika is a little advanced level.
it's a very advanced level.
Yeah.
In therapy level examinations also it is not there.
I had a friend of mine. Okay. She knew I'm into yoga, but on her own, she went and joined some classes, Kundalini Awakening and all in Australia. And she started doing Bastrika. And then she can't get sleep for days together. Then I had to literally, it took 20 days for me to bring her down into a different level. Yeah. So Bastrika is a good practice, but it has to be done carefully.
Unless and until Ashtakumbhak pranayamas, all other pranayama except Bhastrika are perfect.
Yeah.
The ratios with Moolband, with Jalandharban, Udyanban, with all these parameters, if we are excellent, then only the last stage the Bhastrika is taught.
Correct. All three bandha are coming together.
Please, because you are more into you have to be more into teaching rather than on the theory side. Okay,
Yeah.
that come to know. Yeah.
I generally, through distance, no, I don't teach Bastrika at all. Even Kapalbhati, if you do little more, no, then people start yawning. Okay, because what happened, oxygen level goes down in the brain, no? Cervical is not pushing thing down, then they start yawning because it's like, in the Uttana Vakrasana, no? You are cutting down your oxygen level to the brain. So dangerous. There is an absolute and direct correlation between the way a man breathes and the state of mind and the clarity of thought which we enjoy, right? If you look at Cristiano Ronaldo, okay, it's interesting to look at most of his direct shots. Okay, I have done the study through video. Most of the time when he has to take direct shots, no, you will find him taking 3 to 5 deep breaths. He'll take the breath, leave it out completely, take the breath, leave it out completely, leave it out completely, 3 to 4, 5, and then only he will do the direct shot. So, he's trying to, because a lot of expectation, people are expecting him being the captain to put something directly. So there is a lot of expectation. So he wants to come back to not get anxious. There is an absolute and direct correlation between the man breathes and the subtlety of the thoughts which pass through his mind. We all know that. As is the breath, so is the thought. As is the thought, so is the life. Holistic approach of yoga, the yogic holistic approach to life, that everything is important and everything has its effect, could do much to improve the mind, body, and emotional states of well-being. It's a philosophy. Okay. These practical approaches to health include the use of early morning sunlight for healing and rejuvenate. They say chase the sun. Every day you have to do sun chasing, rejuvenate activities. The use of water for internal and external cleansing, which is like our kriyas, which our Menon sir does. Careful attention to diet of a sattvic nature. Here, see, here I have found that more and more abhyasa, when you do, automatically your body starts rejecting. You will, on your own, you will start giving up food. Careful attention to diet of sattvic nature. Realizing the necessity for balance between sattvic nature. I'm sure Atha Pratipika would have taught about yuktahar, right? So there are a lot of things. Sattvic diet does not mean it is not going to be tasty or something. Look at that yukta ahara, then you will get to know. Realizing the necessity of for a balance between exertion and relaxation, as well as tension, must be balanced using concept of spanda, nishpanda, or exertion, relaxation, and an alternative rhythm of activity. That is again a separate kind of exercise breathing. Uh, we all know uh, Shavasana, right? We all know uh, there is something called Nishpanda Bhava. Okay. That means you have to consciously close your eyes and start listening. Sakshi Bhavan, we all know that. But Nishpanda Bhava means without being judgmental, you listen to, you watch, you hear people talk, you hear the chirping of the birds, everything you take it up. Nishpanda Bhava is taught before you go into Sakshi Bhavana. So this is all different kind of exertion, relaxation. It is more for stress management, but stress is nothing but speed. The speed of thought is a reason for stress.
Usha, Yuktahar is from which subject? Yuktahar. Yogikahar is from which topic? Very important.
Okay.
Vitar in
Ah,
Pratipika.
Atha Pratipika.
Bhagavad Gita, Yuktahar and Vihara 6.17.
6.17.
Very, very important. Okay. Just local you to remember. Plus this Vitar also they last in the practical examination. Okay.
And
You are
Atha
talk on
Pratipika.
Vitar. You
Yeah.
are talk on yogic diet. Okay. Gopinath, please note it down.
Atha Pratipika clearly talks about all that. What to eat and what not to eat.
Next, Amnitya.
Yeah. Learning how to unwind through many relaxation techniques available in the yogic science, which can balance the immense amount of stress and strain that are part and parcel of day-to-day life. Realizing the need for clean air, water, and food. Becoming aware of the effect of modern modes of entertainment and addictive habits in general, debilitation of the physical, emotional, and mental nature. Yes, we know that many things we can't. For example, you cannot be without a phone. Providing a working philosophy which will sustain one in triumph and defeat. Understood? Providing a working philosophy. Yes. Learning to be sensitive to one's own biorhythms. Listen to your own body. There is something called body brain which will tell you what to do and what not to do. Since we are continuously thinking, we are not listening to that. That is very important. Biorhythms, one's own physical, mental, and emotional cycle. Being aware of the effects of the season and the various unnatural lifestyles to which modern man is exposed. Yogic tools for positive mental health. Become aware of your body, emotions, and mind, which we are doing continuously in the practice. Without awareness, there cannot be health or healing. Awareness of the body implies conscious body work that needs to be synchronized with breath to qualify as a psychosomatic techniques of healing and health. It is nothing but practice with awareness. Excuse me. Slow down your breath, making it quiet and deep. Rapid, uncontrolled, irregular breath is a sign of ill health, whereas slow, deep, and regular controlled breathing is a sign of health. We all know that. Breath is the link between the body and the mind and is the agent of physical, physiological, and mental unification. When breath is slowed down, metabolic processes are also slowed down, and anabolic activities begin the process of healing and rebuilding. If breath is calm, mind is calm, and life is long. Improve the flow of healing, pranic life energy. Improve the flow of healing, pranic life energy to all parts of the body. When you start your practice, okay, this is something which many of my students have liked. I've just experimented. When you start your practice, the moment you have to tell yourself, Ata Yoga Anushasanam. Now my inward journey starts. The journey, the road which is less traveled. I'm not going to look outside. I'm going to look at myself inside. When you start breathing, you should start breathing in such a manner that, yes, my breath is now starting from the nose. It is now, instead of going it downwards, it is going into the eyes. It is going into the eyebrow. It is going into the forehead. It is going into the central nervous system. All the cranial pair of nerves are bringing it down. Now, from there, my breathing is going towards the neck, towards the ears. Close your eyes and imagine towards the eyes, towards the ears, on the neck, on the jugular vein, on the side of the ear, the pituitary, touching the carotid, going towards the shoulder, both the shoulders. My breath is pushing the oxygenated blood on my hands, on my arm, on my elbow, on my wrist, towards my fingers. Now, when I'm breathing, it is going from my chest, my clavicle area, towards my heart, towards my lung, towards my vertebrae, center of the chest, from the sternum, all the four valves of the body. From there, it is going backside. It is covering all the 33 areas of the spine. Again, it is coming forward, all the thoracic area. It is coming towards the center, towards the liver, towards my lower abdomen, small intestine, large intestine, colon, duodenum, jejunum, pancreas, my waist, towards my hip, which is the center of gravity, towards the hip, round the hip, towards the navel, towards the urethra, towards the recti muscle, towards the anus splinter muscles, both the hamstrings, the three pairs of hamstrings, towards my thigh, towards my knee, all the cartilages of the knee, the peroneum, the perineum, the towards the artery on the calf, towards the feet, towards the toe. This is how you have to breathe. How do you feel? That is how you have
Nice,
to
sir.
breathe. Yeah, that is how you have to breathe. And then start your yoga. Calm down your mind and focus inwardly. The mind is as disturbed as a drunken monkey bitten by a scorpion, says our scriptures. When the monkey is bitten by a scorpion, it will jump here and there. To bring the wayward, agitated monkey under control, take it on a journey into our inner being. Tame the monkey, don't control the monkey. It's a fundamental way of finding out the disease maze in which we are entangled like a fly in the spider's web. Breath works and sensory control are the base on which mind training can occur. Hence, much importance is given to pranayam and pratyahara. It is only after this that concentration practices leading to meditation can have any use. Saw that, no? Hmm? Before we go into pratyahara and dhyana, just sitting and thinking about something is not meditation. Relax your whole body. Relaxation is most often at all patients need in order to improve their physical condition. Stress is the major culprit and may be the causative, aggravating, or precipitating factor in many psychosomatic illness. So many a time, and man, we all know that the connection. Okay, improve your dietary habits. Most disorders are directly or indirectly linked to improper dietary pattern. Menon sir,
Yes, please. Yes.
we have to talk about Viruddhahar one day. Viruddhahar.
Yeah, yeah.
That is a hot topic today. To improper dietary pattern that need to be addressed in order to find a permanent solution to health challenges. One of the most important lifestyle changes that need to be implemented in management of any lifestyle disorder is diet. Fortify means strengthen yourself against omnipresent stressors. Decrease your stress level by fortifying yourself against the various omnipresent stressors in your life. When face to face with the innumerable thorns in a forest, one may either choose to spend all their time thinking them one by one, or while the other thorns continue falling, or choose to wear a pair of shoes and walk through the forest. That is, we are trying to prevent ourselves, protect ourselves, and say that yes, I cannot stop the thorns falling, but I will protect myself. The difference is in attitude. They say no, do not complain about the wind. Adjust your sail. Wind will blow in the way it wants. Choosing the right attitude can change everything and bring about a resolution of the problem by healing the core. Stress is more about how you react to the stresses than about the nature of the stress itself. Increase your self-reliance and self-confidence. Life is full of challenges that there are only to make us stronger and better. The challenges should be understood as opportunities for change and faced with confidence. We must understand must have the inner power to overcome each and every challenge that is thrown at us by life. The divine is not a sadist to give us challenges that are beyond our capacity. So divine has decided that it will be giving us the ability also to handle situation. Facilitate natural ema- emanation of waste from the body by practicing Shuddhi Kriya, Dauti, Basti, Neti. Accumulation and stagnation of waste material is one of the reason. Take responsibility for your own health. Remember that ultimately it is you who are responsible for your own health and well-being, and it must take the initiative to develop positive health to tide over your challenging times of health. Yoga fixes responsibility for our health squarely upon our shoulders. If we do healthy things, we are healthy, and if we do unhealthy things, we become sick. No use in complaining that we are not well when we have been the cause of our problem. As Swami Gitananda Giri says, would you say you don't have a problem? You are the problem. One of the things which they say, whatever asanas we avoid, I'm sure you would have heard this, whatever asanas you are avoiding, those are the ones which you really require. Agree? Anybody? Just look at your life and see the asanas which you are avoiding, no? That is the one which you really require. Health and happiness are your birthright. Claim them and develop them into your maximum potential. The message of Swamiji is a firm reminder that the goal of human existence is not health and happiness but moksha, liberation. Most people today are so busy trying to find health and happiness that they forget what they are here in the first place. Yoga helps us to regain our birthright and attain the goal of human life. This is okay. This is just benefits of yoga for body. We all know that increased core strength, lowers blood pressure. You all know which practices lowers blood pressure, weight management, improve digestion, improve circulation, body detoxification, pain and tension relief, increase flexibility, improves posture, increases your immunity. For the mind, improve intuitions, increase self-acceptance, improve concentration, neutralize stress, improve memory, increase in mental awareness, focus on the present, increase confidence, unlock energy flows, balance brain, mental benefits of yoga, learning, efficacy, decision making because your presence of mind will increase. Presence of mind, if it is too much, you will not trust anybody. If it is too less, people take advantage of you. Healthy coping mechanism, stress management, concentration, me time. I remember when I joined, my sir said, you are only one thing. Now you are going to have time for yourself. He said, break that word into two. Yourself. You're going to develop yourself because it is yourself. Healthy body image, boosted memory, relaxed mind, confidence, mental clarity, presence, mental strength and toughness, anxiety and depression management, decreased perception of pain, mind body connection, science of control over emotion, decreased impact of negative emotion, curiosity, optimism. So these are some of the books. There are many, plenty are there. And there is an article which, if I have it, I think that article itself is around 10-15 pages. It is written by that Kaivaladam Dr. Bogle. He is very good. Okay. Now what we are doing is that we are going to give you a separate PPT. Okay. Which is not going to be very exhaustive like this. We are going to give you a simple PPT.